So Troy, you are the Director of Insurance Implementation Services for George Michael and Associates. Tell us what that means and what you do.
Well, what I do essentially is I help manage the plans for our clients. We'll go in there, we'll negotiate the plan, implement the plan, and have the plan go live. And from there, what we'll do is we'll help all the members throughout that plan, or within that plan, help them find in-network providers, make sure that if they have any other needs or things that other places they needed to go, that we direct them to the right places, and then we'll manage that for them throughout that process.
And when you talk about a plan, you're talking about healthcare plans for employers, and you were just explaining before we started this that you guys work in markets where there are at least 2 hospitals, and then you can work with large employers in order to negotiate those plans.
So to make a difference, we normally need 500 plus employees, which in turn would anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000 members to go into a market with 2 plus hospitals to make those hospitals compete. And then we'll go through negotiations with those hospitals to drive down those rates for our clients, and then come up with a plan of action for those health plans for those clients.
So you grew up here in San Angelo, but you went to college in San Antonio, and you stayed there to launch your career. What brought you back home? My
family business, actually. My father started a company, GM & Day, where I'm working at now, and back in '99 is when he started it. So I grew up kind of wanting to do that and wanting to get into it. And so after I spent a few years starting my career in San Antonio with New York Life, and then running a construction company, he gave me a call and said there was an opportunity for me to come back down. So I jumped on it and have been happy with the decision ever since. So it's been good.
So what's it like working with your father?
It's interesting. We have a good dynamic at work. We have the father-son relationship, but then at the end of the day, it's still business. So we have to do what's best for the company. But it's really neat. I love working with him, for him. He's been an inspiration and somebody I've looked up to my whole life. So it's cool to have a great boss and also my father in that same position.
Your job, you came back home for the job, but was there something else about San Angelo that made you want to live here as opposed to where you were living in San Antonio?
I wanted to be closer to family. I have a lot of friends here, a lot of roots here. It feels like the right fit. Every time I've lived somewhere else, I've felt like that was home, but I've always called San Angelo home because the people here are incredibly nice. There's a lot to do, in my opinion, here, and it was a great place to grow up. And whenever I have a family, I'd like them to have that experience as well.
So you're also a Leadership San Angelo alumnus. What did you glean from your involvement in that program?
Honestly, I wasn't aware of all the different aspects of the city, all the different organizations and groups that were involved with everything associated with the city, the county. It was pretty eye-opening, and I did grow up here, so I thought I had a pretty good idea of everything that went on. And after my 10, 11 months doing that, I have a much bigger appreciation for everything the city does, all the organizations that are involved with the city, and it really was eye-opening. So.
Was there any one particular thing that you were just like blown away by? It was a wow moment for you?
Lighthouse for the Blind is something I was blown away by. I really had no idea about it, or really didn't know what was involved and what all they do, and apparently they're all around the country, all the different things they do and how they employ the blind for all the blind people. I thought was pretty amazing.
So while you were in that class, you co-chaired the 2017 class, and y'all, as a class, led 4 civic projects. You painted the Boy Scout facility, you painted a Helping Homes hand, you raised funds for art in uncommon places. How did your group go about choosing what it was that they wanted to be involved in and what their focus would be?
Well, we had a couple conversations, sat down, and we wanted to try and be the best leadership class that has gone through so far. So we set our goals a little bit higher, and we had probably 7 or 8 different ideas out there that people had brought to the table. And from there, we took a survey and decided that we wanted to do multiple projects. So we decided to do 4 separate projects. That entailed a lot of work, a lot of people that had to get things organized for that. So we had people who led those projects and then followed through with those projects. So, but everybody was involved, and it was kind of a group decision. Everybody wanted to try to make as big an impact as we could in the 10, 11 months that we were doing that.
Did that make it meaningful to work together as a team in order to accomplish those things?
It did. It was neat to see everybody come together and really want to show out for our class and for the community.
You've raised tens of thousands of dollars for the Boy Scouts, and you actually asked if you could join their board. They did accept you. What about their mission is meaningful to you?
Honestly, it's just about the kids and being able to see the impact that it has on them, the different programs and initiatives that they are trying to do. Sometimes it's difficult, but the leaders in the organization, from the parents to the execs to the council, the board members as well, I feel like they do a lot for those kids and make an impact in their life.
Your community service dates back to when you were in college at the University of Texas at San Antonio, where you helped provide 1 million pounds of food for the San Antonio Food Bank. Why were you moved to do something like that at such a young age?
Well, it was a part of the fraternity I was in, and whenever I found out about it, I thought it was an awesome cause. So what we did was, once a year, we would do what we called the North American Food Drive, which was on one day of the year. We'd go around the entire city of San Antonio trying to raise money and canned food for the San Antonio Food Bank. And being able to deliver all those pounds of food and that money to the organization and to really see where it all went and how many people it impacted really was something that I thought was something that I wanted to do and touched me to want to make an impact for those people.
Did an experience like that help to shape what you want to be involved in now and how you approach your volunteer work now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, at that age, I didn't really understand the impact until a little while after, and I look back on it, and being able to make a difference for those people, and being able to come together as a group and do something for the community really gave me a sense of pride and something that I wanted to continue to do, throughout.
You're also an accomplished tennis player and golfer. You've won the Bentwood Partnership Tournament 3 times, which is a very competitive tournament. How important is it, do you feel like, for busy people to have some leisure time and engage in the things that they just simply find fun?
I think it's really important. You have to separate work and social a lot. If you kind of mix it all together, you can kind of burn yourself out. So I find myself trying to be active, playing tennis, playing golf, basketball, hanging out with friends, going hunting with friends, those different type of activities to make sure that, when I'm in work, I'm focused on work, I'm doing what I need to do there, but at the same time, when I'm out of work, I can kind of push it aside for a little bit, go have some fun, sweat it out a little bit, as I like to say, and then go from there.
So talk about a leader who has impacted or influenced you.
I have to go to my father for that. He's been somebody who I've always looked up to in a leadership role, not only as a father, but as a businessman and as a steward of the community. I think he's gone above and beyond anything that he needed to do, and he did that out of the good of his heart. And being able to watch him and see how many people he's influenced and all the different organizations he's impacted really impacted me growing up. And he was a person I wanted to emulate and follow and really want to aspire to be.
So what's your definition of leadership?
Someone who is honest, confident, positive, who's a good listener, who empowers others to go above and beyond what they ever thought their highest expectations were. I think a good leader is someone who leads by example, who also gives back to the community.
Troy, it's a big honor to be one of the 20 under 40. Congratulations.
All right, thanks, Anthony. Appreciate it.